About a half dozen years ago, I founded and I direct something called the Art of Science Learning, which I founded in order to test the hypothesis that bringing the arts into innovation can have profound transformational breakthrough impacts across a wide spectrum of human problems. If that hypothesis is true, the implications are profound because the arts are in all of us, and they are accessible to us, they are available within us, and we can work with them in an extraordinary and rich range of ways in all kinds of different settings. So the question is the hypothesis true? So I've been spending a lot of time over the last few years digging into that question. I come to it with some clear biases which are worth talking about. My background is as an artist, as a musician. I learned to read music before I learned to read English. In college I started hanging out with a bad crowd, so I did theater. And I've worked over the last 15 years or so in a pretty wide array of environments with the arts as learning tools, as well as tools for direct creative expression. And if there's one thing that I've taken away from that experience, is a deep belief that you can actually teach pretty much anything to pretty much anyone with pretty much any artistic process, if you set it up correctly and if that's really your intent, if you're ready to work at that. So my work has taken me pretty deep into innovation, how innovation is done in lots of different settings, the connections between innovation and learning. And most recently, it led me first to the National Science Foundation and then into a project where we decided to actually build something pretty substantial and test it. So we're in the process right now of developing what will be the world's first comprehensive arts-based innovation curriculum. By comprehensive, I mean that we're talking about everything from what is the problem to how do you go to market with the solution, and everything in between. We're looking at ways in which the arts can be embedded in that process as skill-building learning tools, as cultural attributes that kind of foster and strengthen an environment for innovation, for collaboration, for communication, and so forth. And we're also looking at ways in which the arts can be an engine of creativity that kind of drives the whole thing. So once we've built this curriculum, which is about halfway done now, we're going to spend the next 3 years testing it. We're testing it in 3 incubators for innovation in STEM learning and practice. We want to know what happens when we take cross-disciplinary communities of learners. We're talking about mashups that involve classroom teachers and working scientists and teaching artists, entrepreneurs and business leaders, policymakers, high school and college students, people coming from just an extraordinary range of backgrounds. And they're going to be tackling some very, very critical real-world problems. In San Diego, they'll be working on water resources. In Chicago, they're going to be working on urban nutrition. In Worcester, Massachusetts, alternative transportation solutions. Very different environments. Museums and science centers will be involved. But through all of this, over the next 3 years, we'll be kind of asking this question: what is it actually possible to spark through the arts, through arts-based learning? And we'll be measuring it through experimental research. I'm not really here to pitch anything today so much as to share an idea and to share a way that we're testing it, and to invite you all to think about it, to reflect on it, to play with it. And if you are so inclined, to contribute to it. Because we're doing this across the country, we're going to be doing it for a few years, thanks to the investment of the National Science Foundation. We have the capacity to do it, and so we want lots of great ideas to help contribute to the building of truly dynamic learning communities around the innovation that happens at the intersection of art, science, and learning. Thanks.